So, Esvin, which porn star would you bang?
It's more like a Mia Khalifa guy.
She looking decrepit now. She looks like Skeletor.
All right, come here.
Did she not break up with Jay Cortez?
Come here.
Yeah, right?
Ryan, let's go.
Yeah, he's getting all fitness now.
Let's go.
Dude, it's crazy how hard it is to find parking around here.
It's fucking disgusting.
Oh, Union City Parking.
That's what I mean. You could be just sitting right
you'd
here.
be sitting right here and saying that.
It's really bad. Like seriously, like I arrived here like in Union City around 6:15.
Wait, what street do you live on?
I live in Jersey City.
Where is it?
By Journal Square.
Oh, damn, you live far.
Not really.
That's pretty far. Yeah, I live in Jersey City too, but I live
Wait, what?
I live in New York Avenue in Jersey City.
What? Really?
Right there.
Oh yeah.
3 blocks away from First Street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So I used to live in First Street.
First Street,
Yep.
the street?
Yep, First
Yeah,
Street.
because I don't understand, that park is so fucking big that it splits up into Patterson Plank Road,
Yeah.
First Street, and all these other in
I
between
used to live
streets.
in 213 Burgerline
You
Avenue.
gotta go cross streets to get to the other parts of the park.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wait, is it going?
Yeah.
Oh crap! What?
So,
Listen, if you're gonna think about it the whole time, it's just gonna make it worse.
No. It's just like
We lost it. We can't get it back. We'll try again.
no, it's not about that.
It's not. It's just like we had a good conversation.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
Like,
of
and
course.
It was a little mentally draining.
yeah, mentally.
But, you know,
Welcome to another episode of the Unpopular podcast. We had some technical difficulties.
for an hour and a half.
Yeah, and it didn't tell me. No notification. I didn't notice until late. But it's part of the process, man. Sometimes it happens.
You know?
Just one time though. And I think 1 out of 22 is not bad.
Not that bad.
Right? I thought you were laughing because you made
No,
me
I'm
think of
just
something.
looking into the abyss. Thinking about that hour.
It's like
We talked for an hour. We had another guest on.
There
And
was
Yeah.
MCU debate.
unfortunately, there was a good MCU debate in there.
Yeah.
There was a good movie debate. What else did we talk about?
and movie
Ezra
like
Miller.
criticism.
Movie criticism.
Movie
What else?
criticism.
Ezra Miller. But before that, we were talking about
Black Phone.
Yeah, Black.
No, before all that, we were talking
Hispanic.
about
Oh, Hispanic.
Hispanic
Yeah.
culture. We were
Like,
talking-
yeah.
It was a very good episode. And,
Really good talk.
We had another guest here who hopefully will do another one next
In the
month.
near future.
Probably next month, maybe.
Yeah.
But
But hey,
We're
when
here
life gives you
again.
bowls, when life gives you lemons, you have to make lemonade.
yeah, unfortunately, sometimes that lemonade is rotten, and you have to go get more
You have to
lemon
get more lemons.
and remake the lemonade.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
Someone poured water into your salt jar or your
What?
sugar jar,
Oh,
and now you have no more sugar. And you have to say,
what do you mean, bro? Like, lemonade is
What kind of analogy is that?
Yeah.
Like, where are you going? What kind of direction are you taking?
I'm over here trying to improv. I'm over here trying to improv. We had it.
But this is how the podcast looks now, because I gotta do that again. Because we're in transition.
Yeah.
Before you saw us over there, and now we're over here. I'm pretty sure this is where we're gonna leave it at. If anything, will probably be like a foot.
It looks
over.
nice here. It looks. It's like
Yeah.
you're diagonal, but good diagonal.
Yeah, like I want your poster to be somewhere here,
Yeah.
and then I can put other shit over
The
there.
Captain Carter one.
Yeah,
That's a nice
and then even on that ledge over there, we can put other shit too.
Yeah, we have a couple of things we're gonna do.
Mhm.
And I
Right
mentioned
here.
like I mentioned to
It's all right, yo.
I forgot your name.
My name is Leonard.
I'm sorry.
My name is Xavier.
I'm so sorry, bro. Just no, like I mentioned this before. Like my first impression of just walking here, it was just like it's really a really nice setup.
Yeah, he didn't forget your name. He was just remembering on how he just said that the last.
I gotta say this shit
It's like
again.
it's just so mentally draining, What we talked about like an hour ago.
Well, you do, and you talk like a monster too, where it's like you kind of like get loud to assert that. Oh, I'm talking now.
Right, no, so listen, so
You can be like, no. I'm talking.
You make our lives more like difficult. We have to edit that.
no, but we always appreciate guests like that more rather than someone that
We have
feeling that
to
first time jitters, and we kind of feel like we have to draw it out of you. But that's also just the first time, like
Yeah, it's normal.
It's
It's normal.
nervous.
Yeah, yeah.
It's- not everyone is camera.
It's a little obnoxious. I'm not gonna lie, but it's normal.
And you know what? Like when it comes to like camera shy or like when it comes to like public speaking, it's crazy how in Edison I remember what really helped me to get over that fear is basically was just talking about my religion, right?
Okay.
And like basically I was just telling everyone that I'm a Jehovah's Witness, and little by little I started to like get out of that comfort zone, right? And basically being outspoken, and then from there you like just now being in this podcast like discussing having discussions of like movie criticism, having different kind of opinions, right? So from there I just got like comfortable.
And yeah, I think everybody should be that way. Obviously,
Yeah.
I think it's how you're guided.
Yeah.
You said it before. If you're not taught that at a very young age, you're just always gonna either feel shy,
Yep.
or you're not gonna know how to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and then basically, and then especially like yeah, and as you mentioned, just to reiterate, like if you don't have any kind of goals in mind, right? Like for example, my goal was to like come out from that comfort zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to be outspoken. I want to like speak my mind, right?
Yeah, I want to matter.
I want to matter in society. So, and and from there, having goals and having people to support you, you could go a long way.
Yeah.
So,
I never get too real on here. You try to I feel like we embellish kind of who we are on the camera a little bit. We exaggerate ourselves a little bit more.
A little bit, yeah.
And because us more on a person, not that personal, but us from school and how we used to act. But it's crazy how just a camera can make you change your how you talk or all this and that. Because a lot of people get shy and a lot of people don't, and we're just the people that don't get shy.
Or like for instance, like you have an image to uphold.
That too, with your that's like a you example.
Yep, exactly. So many times like off camera, I believe that even off camera, I don't. I'm not being a hypocrite. That's why I believe. I try to like live. I try to like practice what I preach.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like that's crazy what you mentioned, right? And there's actually a movie about that too.
We love movies.
We love movies. Have you seen that movie with like Andrew Garfield? It's about like he was like a Gen Z and like he
a theater actor or something like that.
Yeah, and like not TikTok. No, not TikTok. No, not TikTok. Boom. It was another one.
Why did you mean TikTok?
No, like not TikTok. Not TikTok. Boom. It was another movie he was in where he was first like a low profile YouTuber, but then like he started going crazy because he started like doing all these trends, like crazy trends. And then like at the end of the movie, like he became like insane.
I've never seen that.
He became a sociopath. There you go.
That sounds interesting. What's it called?
I forgot the name.
Bro.
Hey,
We have the internet.
Yeah, we have the internet here. Like,
pull it off.
pull up, man.
But that does
Sources.
that does happen a lot with people where it's like the limelight gets to them a little bit.
Yeah.
Ezra Miller.
That's really
Mainstream. There you go.
Mainstream,
Mainstream.
alright.
That's the movie. Yeah.
I think that's one of the downsides of like social media and all that shit now. It's like everybody can have the spotlight, but not everyone can handle it.
Yeah.
That's why like I hate clips and videos of like certain people like going to McDonald's to rap the menu to you. Or, like I gotta clock out in 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Like I don't have time for this.
But even then, it's like someone that just enters their shift, like, I don't want to deal with this shit right now. Or it's like someone comes in a fake Wendy's costume and you're working at Burger King. It's like, they sent me over here to tell y'all to shut this shit down. Who are you? Like, bro, if I was still working at McDonald's, the most disrespect, I would have gotten fired.
Like that's entertainment, but at the end of the day, like for example, like
people are there working
exactly. Like for example, like humor is subjective, right? At the end of the day, because at the end of the day, those type of videos
get views,
views, right? Get likes, right? But for example, I share the same opinion as you. Like for me, I see that as senseless humor, right? Because I don't see it as funny, and basically you're just ruining other people's
I'm gonna
day.
get very fucking hostile. But I really think those people are the fucking dregs of society. Because and no, when you really think about it, they're making money off making other people more miserable and basically inconveniencing them. Because instead of working an actual job or working at an actual McDonald's, you come in a fake fucking Wendy's shit, you talk hella bullshit, and people are like, you get 20,000 views. Any one of them that sends if 500 of them send you $1, that's still $500 fucking dollars. You're gonna think that the way that TikTok works is like they have a token thing bullshit when they stream. So when and a lot of people have shit where like, they just go to sleep, and it's like if you buy certain shit, it'll get audio.
Crazy how you could do like mundane things and you get people watch and pay you.
Is because they want to fuck with you. That's all it is. For those ones specific, it's like you're a human guinea pig to them. It's like let's see how long let's see if we can get them to their breaking point.
It's like speed, like show speed, like that streamer show speed.
Yeah, I heard he got arrested recently.
Yeah, and that's crazy. Like how? Why are you gonna put yourself in that position?
Wait, but Speed is funny though.
He is, but like
sometimes,
it's just exaggerating.
He exaggerates so much.
Like, you could be funny, but with percussions, right?
Yeah.
So like, but for example, with the point that you just made, right? Do you think that embodies pranksters in general, or is there like there's like some pranksters?
But no, you're about to say there's some pranksters that are okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Because there's certain shit that's meaningless.
Gideon.
Gideon, he's actually
hilarious.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
And,
yeah.
Bro, you can't go to
and he's friendly, like, and he tells you, like, you know what's crazy is that, for example, a perfect example of Gideon, right? Thank you for mentioning that. When he went to American Dream, right? The American Dream Mall, and he was messing with one of the artists, right? At the end of the day, what did he do? He went back to the guy. He actually tipped him. And he was like, "Oh, dude, I'm sorry. Like, you know, I'm just messing around with you." And then the guy, the Irish dude, he was like, "Oh no, it's fine, man. You know, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't know this was just for a video, blah blah." Blah. And they,
Yeah.
Good and done.
And that's it, good and done.
But then, like, on the same coin, I used to hate like all those shitty fucking around in the hood videos where they go like, "Hey, yo, you want to
pull up your pants?"
and shit like that. And
that's dangerous. I would never do that.
But it's all
in my life.
It was all fake.
Yeah. But even then, it's just like you're making money.
But think about it. Even if it's fake, just out of all those viewers, at least one or like a good percentage of them thinks it's real, and then they think that, hey, if he could do it, I could do it. You know?
Pull up your pants.
What are you saying?
Wanted for murder.
Oh god!
You chose the wrong block to walk down today.
The fact that if you tell someone to pull up their pants and they shoot you, isn't that another thing that we should get checked out?
I don't know. You want to?
I don't know, like.
If you want to start taking away people's firearms,
no, I'm not taking away people's firearms. I want to
just how they react.
I want to take away people's
insensibility.
Yeah, to killing other people. That's what I want to take away.
You think? Wait, for example, like you think that's going too far?
What, killing someone for telling them to pull up their pants?
Yeah,
I think so.
I think so too. Of course. No, I know. It's obvious, but like I've been saying, like at the end of the day, like it's just crazy how the world, little by little, the society is degrading. You know.
Well, it is because we're so desensitized from everything.
And that's what we talked about in the last episode. Like, you know, like how I said that especially when it comes to porn, like how they desensitize young teens, right?
And remember those gore videos that came out when we were kids?
That's crazy.
At the start of the internet. Well, like we didn't.
Yeah, gore.com.
We weren't at the start of the internet. But we were like there when the internet was just popping, right? 2006, 2008. Gore, best gore, whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
I watched a shit ton of videos
because of a bunch of famous, like Mexican cartel, like cut, like
the chainsaw one, bro. Of course.
The one that looked like Luigi.
You're racist. But yeah, I remember that. But yeah, it desensitizes you as a kid, and then you watch. That's why movies sometimes aren't thrilling anymore. Because it's not enough. It's not enough entertainment.
Yeah,
anymore.
I get that.
You know what? That's a good point because I used to watch gore videos. I used to be that edgy kid, you know, especially watching like Filthy Frank, you know, like
cake.
Yeah, vomit cake. So, but then like little by little, I started to realize. I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, damn, like back then, like nothing fazed me, right? But then now, when I see, for instance, what crosses the line for me is like when you involve a kid or like a woman, right? Like for me, or like an animal, right? That just crosses the line, right? But especially a kid. Oh my! So the suburban film. I hate
Serbian.
That. No, Serbian. Yeah, Serbian. There, suburban. The
Serbian film is one of the worst.
There's a lot of
most disgusting. There's a person that has showed me all those videos, all those movies.
Miodar.
No. Before that, it was all Wilson.
Oh,
bro, I was 6 years old. He was 8. Like, yo, you want to see someone get fat, bro? Oh, he's sending me something. Hold on. Look at what he's saying.
Why is that funny?
From Serbian film.
It's right.
This is what happens in them.
Yeah, that's what happens in the movie. Yeah, that's what happens in the movie. It's crazy.
Yeah,
really
it's disgusting. It's
So
like
one of my friends, he actually.
Why did you lie?
So.
I'm desensitized.
So it's crazy how one of my friends he actually watched the movie. He managed to finish the movie, right?
No.
And he legit told me the next day, right? Because he told me that I remember the day prior, he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna finish this movie, right?" But he was gonna watch it like late at night, right? And the next day,
He wasn't the same.
the next day he wasn't the same. I'm being dead serious. He wasn't the same. He legit called me in the morning. He was like, "Esvian, this was the worst decision I've ever made in my life." Because, and it's crazy how you could say to yourself, "It's just a movie." It's not just a movie. The contents of it, it's just, dude, it just shouldn't. Exactly. It just leaves you in disbelief of how someone could conceive such a concept, right? And it's just insane. But like, you know what it is? Like, for example, American Beauty, right?
I like that movie.
And it's crazy how people say that, oh, you know, that gives a bad idea of like, oh, that of children pedophilia and stuff like that. But people didn't understand the true meaning of the movie. Just because a movie touches upon an idea doesn't mean it accepts it. And you know,
spread awareness.
and you know what's crazy? And it's good that they feel this way because that's the point of it.
The movie, yeah.
That's the point of the movie, to make you feel this way.
Make you know outraged to do something about it.
That movie.
For example, the Joker. People thought that Top Phillips, you know, made the Joker human, right? Like, oh, what he was doing was right. But in the movie, there was forces that was against it, right? So, and the reason why you feel this way is because he wanted that for you to see it, to be like, this guy, what Joker is doing is wrong, right? Just because, life is unfair, but it doesn't mean that you should be doing all these things, right? That what happened, you know, in the movie. So
it's funny. You mentioned American Beauty. That movie doesn't age well now. Because,
at all.
Because
at all.
of Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, Kevin Spacey. That's crazy.
Ruined the reputation of that movie.
Yep, he really
that
did.
movie is great. I watched it recently, actually.
Yep.
And I was like, damn, this movie kind of like relates with sometimes people's bad thoughts or like what they're thinking about. And that's all it was.
Yep,
like,
it really was.
He didn't act. He didn't really do anything crazy, but he could have.
You know, because you know what? At the end of the day, he just wanted freedom.
Yeah.
He just wanted to be his own man.
Yeah.
Right. So, and it's crazy how freedom, or this idea of just doing whatever you want, it comes with a price.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, it's crazy that movie really, like, and I think that is true what you said. Like, it didn't age well. You know. So
especially with him. If it were another actor, maybe.
it's crazy how like he's a good actor, but then like what he, like, you know, he just ruined his career.
Him, Bill Cosby. Well, Kevin Spacey apparently, no one knew he was gay, and he was apparently grabbing a bunch of guys, you know, fondling them just because he wanted to, because he could.
Yep.
And when the Me Too movement was happening, he was one of the guys that came down with it. Which is, I'm kind of glad that it happened, because he was being a real piece of shit.
Yep.
And he was still doing it to this day.
Agreed.
And then to try to get out of it, he was like, "Oh, I'm gay." Like to put that in the front headline.
Yeah,
that's why I touched everybody.
Yeah, basically, like
I was attracted to that. What do you expect?
It makes sense.
He's like, consent? What is that?
you know what's crazy too? Terry Crews came out and said that women were actually doing it to him too, and guys. He was a part of that Me Too movement. I don't know if you remember, but he came out.
Terry Crews?
Yeah. Terry Crews, that buff, you know.
Really?
Yeah, he came out and said that he was also mistreated in the Hollywood industry.
Oh, but the Hollywood industry is terrible. It's terrible.
I feel like it's a, you know, those conspiracy theories that,
especially Weinstein.
Yeah, with, you know, those conspiracy theories with QAnon and they're trying to get rid of all the pedophiles. Like, I can see why they think that, because Hollywood is a big, like, proponent of that. Like, it's kind of like the Catholic religion, where it's like people are running around doing whatever the fuck they want and hiding it from the world. You
know what it is? Just like, for instance, right, when it comes to like
recording,
when it comes to like institutions, right, like religion, or let's just say Hollywood, right, man-made things, right, due to our imperfections, of course there's gonna be like bad apples, right? But at the end of the day, like, Hollywood does produce good things for the public, you know, like movies.
Yeah,
you know?
it always does.
Well, like, just like the people in it just ruins it, you know. So it's like, for example, the same thing with Catholicism, right? Like, we have all these opinions about like, oh, like the Catholic Church does this to children and stuff like that. But then there's like devout Catholics here in Union City that are like the best people out there, you know?
For sure. And I'm not gonna take that away from them.
Yeah.
But because of those people supporting these groups in general,
elites. Yeah.
It just happens more and more.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
Yeah,
And it's sad to say that, all right, you're a devout Catholic. Good on you, and you're doing good on this world, but
but your whole organization is like
crashing down and fucked up, bro. You can't.
It's like, this reminds me of this one YouTuber. Actually, he was banned from YouTube. It's Buddha. Like, I don't know his full name, his full YouTube name, but it's called Buddha. And basically, he made videos, like series of videos of like pedophilia in the Hollywood industry. And he made a video of Tom Hanks.
What do you mean?
Like Tom Hanks.
Oh wait, speaking on.
Yeah, like pedophilia. Yeah, and Tom Hanks is actually, he made a video of him being part of that, of like child trafficking, right? And stuff like that.
No.
And it's crazy. And there's legit, I wouldn't say it's evidence, but it's just connecting all the dots.
Well, he was on the list.
Yeah, he was on the list. Yeah.
What's his name?
No, but the thing, there's a list, but most of those names
are fake. I heard
are not fake, or they weren't on the in the plane. They were just like, basically they were just associates of Epstein, but they weren't in the plane. You get me? For example, Oprah, she was on the list, but she was never in the plane, or she had nothing to do with like what he was doing. Yeah.
Yeah, but with all like, it kind of goes to show, like, with all those names, you kind of,
that's crazy.
You kind of figure why they killed him. Like,
and it's crazy how, like, Tom Hanks, right, in the video, there's one actor, right? I don't think, I forgot his name, because he wasn't really like prolific, but like, for instance, crazy how he started talking about like Tom Hanks and other actors, and then he explicitly said, if I die, it wasn't me, okay? Like, I'm not suicidal, right? What happens? No, and he announced that if he dies, he has a kill switch, meaning like once he dies, videos are gonna be released, right? Guess what? The next day, he dies, and then a video releases, right? Dude, it's legit. It's like this weird ritual like area. It looked like Greece, like in the time of like, you know, the Romans, and like it's like these kids wearing robes and like grabbing water. And like, and it's sad. Like, you see like all these kids just staring at the camera, like, and you see their faces like, oh, they need help, they want help. So
I'm gonna just announce this. Like, we're not talking about this to, you know, shame or anything. Like, this is all just information that we have from third parties. But I think it should be known. You know, what I mean? These all these organizations, Hollywood, the Catholic Church, every other they need to be taken down or be held accountable for all these fucking disgusting actions.
Exactly.
It's crazy. You being a part of like one of like the biggest religions in the world too, because Jehovah's Witness is huge now. It wasn't that back then.
And especially like if you look, for example, like I looked at the numbers, right, when it comes to like, for example, like streaming wise, right, and when it comes to clicks, we get the most clicks, right? So
you have the best website.
It's actually like no offense, like I don't want to blow on anything, but like if you really look at the UI, right, like the website itself, it's really nice, you know, like, and I've never faced any kind of bugs. Like, of course, every website is gonna have bugs. But like, so far, I've never experienced any kind of like like any kind of issue.
I don't mean to laugh, but it's funny that the church has
but you know, but when it could, but in the here's the thing. Because I want to like word it out, you know.
Yeah,
like,
I'm sorry.
Basically, like I said, like I mentioned earlier, right? Like the principle is pure, right? For example, religion, like for example, like the teachings of it, like for example, teaches me to be a good person, right? But the organization itself is full of, not corrupt, but it's full of imperfect human beings, right? So of course there's gonna be foul play, right? I expect that. We all expect that, right? Where I'm gonna hear like, oh, this brother killed someone, or this brother like hit his wife, you know. We're gonna expect that because at the end of the day, they're imperfect, right? But of course, as a servant, not only of God, but of like, you know, as a law-abiding citizen, we do have the obligation, right, or do have the responsibility to put them, you know, to have them accountable for their actions, right? So, and it's crazy how for some states, pastors, they don't have the obligation, right? Let's just say, for example, I confess to them that I killed someone, right? In some states, not all, the pastors, they don't have the obligation to
confront the police.
Confront the police, right? So obviously, morally, ethically, they should. They should. Like, bro, you killed someone.
A lot of them don't.
Yeah, that's
separation of church and state.
But no, the whole point of it's good that you brought this, right? Like when it comes to the separation of state and church, is that the whole point of it, like there's many churches that don't pay their taxes.
Yeah.
So and that's the sad part, because in the Bible it says that Caesar to Caesar, the things for Caesar to Caesar, and the things for God to God, right? What that means is that for Caesar in the Roman times was the government.
Yeah, he was
the government. So as a American citizen, I need to obey the law, right? So in an organization, right, we do pay our taxes. You know how I know we pay our taxes? Because actually, my dad, he's the one that does the paperwork.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And we actually, it's crazy. For some churches, I've noticed is that they go to a private room, right? We do it right there for everyone to see.
Wow.
Maybe for some people may say, oh, that's like a blank slate. Maybe they're just like corrupting the data or like. But hey, I'm like so far what I've witnessed, right, of what I've seen. Everything's clean. And it's meant to be that way. It's bashing, and not bashing other organizations, right? Because I know everyone is different, right? Mm. But so far what I've witnessed, right, it's just and we have every month we have a public statement of the expenses of the church. So we put it on the board. There's a board, and we just have it there.
I respect that, bro, because I grew up in the Mormon church. Mm-hmm. I never saw any of that stuff.
Because transparency is important. Because obviously everyone's gonna have questions like, hey, where, and donations is not mandatory. Like you could legit, like you could walk up to one of the boxes and be like, doop, and that's it.
Oh yeah, the Mormon church, I like that part about them where they don't force anything for sure. They're all about free will, and they're all about like.
Adrian's on the way, okay. So we will have someone in that seat in a little bit.
Cool. They're all about free will and leaving it up to you.
Leave it up to you.
But then when you get to the higher ranking stuff, I don't know. You probably know a little bit because you've researched a lot on religion. There's some
like
weird things.
It becomes ritual now. Yeah, it becomes like really like sect.
Yeah, and that's where you feel like culty vibes.
Yeah,
that's when you feel like you're being led instead of taught.
Yeah, I understand. And the thing is that, and for instance, like many people say, "Oh, but Esmond, you're brainwashed and all that," right?
Are you?
I wouldn't say so because personally no, that's a good question though, because it's a good question to ask yourself, right? Because at the end of the day, right, doubt leads you to the truth.
Yeah.
Right? Because what does doubt? What does it compel you to do? To ask questions, right? And I've asked questions, right, to my elders. I've asked questions to my teacher, and they've answered all of it, right? Honestly, and I was surprised. I was like, damn.
Respectfully?
Yeah, respectfully. Yeah.
I don't care about religion.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
No, because I feel like because I understand what he went through. That's the thing, And then was it hard for you to leave the Mormon church?
It was so on and off because there were some days where I really needed some guidance. To get a little real here, my parents weren't the most like, how would I say this? They weren't close to me or to my siblings. So you try to look for that elsewhere, and I would try to look for that either in school or friends or church.
Yeah.
And that was the only church that I knew of and that I trusted because I just grew up in there. And it was so on and off because I would go for like a couple months, then leave, go for a couple months. But it just became this thing where it was
I'll be right back.
Yeah. At the end, towards the end, I was trying to find myself, like really truly find myself. I was like 16, and I came to the realization where I was like, these people, no matter how many questions I asked, like they're never answered. They're never answered, and it's just leading me to things that I don't want to do.
Yeah,
I don't want to do baptisms for the dead, and I'm not supposed to say that out loud as a Mormon because I'm technically still Mormon. I'm baptized, but that's something that they do, and I just don't see that.
And what is that?
Baptisms for the dead. So it's like they have temples. The Mormons have temples all over the world, all over this country too. And these temples, they do a couple things. So one of the things is they always ask for your genealogy, for your family tree.
What the?
Yeah, and once you're a Mormon, you're in the registry, like you're in it, and they know everything about you.
What's going on, guys?
They know everything about you, and it's like they look up your family tree because they wanna. Hold on. There have been some interesting developments, and I would like to bring into this room David Paz. Come on.
Yo, let's go.
Shit.
Oh man.
Camera.
What's going on?
Yo, what's up? Yo. Oh my
Solid.
God.
You like the intro?
Nice seeing you, man. Nice seeing you, man.
What?
This is fine. What's up, man?
I know I'll be in camera for you.
How are you, man?
Good to see you.
Good to see you, man. It was good to see you.
Oh shit.
Yo, do you mind if he takes that if he's in?
As long as someone's in.
All right, so
Welcome, David, to the podcast.
Thank you.
We'll give you another. I'm sorry.
It's great being here.
Yeah, I love.
I didn't know I was coming for this.
fuck
Yeah.
Ulterior motives. You know, this isn't the worst. It's cool. We're just
No,
we
we're
had one person here.
Yeah, we're just talking about-
because we had like audio issues.
Uh
So now we're doing the whole thing again.
huh. Where?
Yeah.
But we were getting to something that was pretty real. So about religion.
Yeah,
so
I like
I grew
it.
up in the Mormon church, right? So I was talking about the Mormon religion. It's just another religion that believes Jesus Christ is the Son of God.
It's
whatever.
like the Christian.
It's in the Christian tree. But the only difference is that they believe that there was a gentleman named Joseph Smith that found this missing book that links the Mormon religion to the whole Christianity, tree.
Yeah.
And I was just saying I was telling him my experiences because he's a Jehovah's Witness. So one of the things that I really didn't fuck with over there was they used to do baptisms for the dead. So now they ask for your family tree, right?
Uh-huh.
So once you're in the Mormon church, you're in for good. Like they have your registration, they have your name, your date of birth, all your information. And this goes for every member out there. And if you're trying to get out of the church, you can hit me up on Instagram because it's a problem. I don't see why a church should have all that information.
Yeah, that's.
And especially when they do things like this. So
Can I comment on something? Real
yeah,
quick?
you're good.
Like we do have a registration, but it's only like, for example, like just contact information is like for emergencies, right?
Okay. I get
Like
that.
yeah, you got me. Like yeah, but when it comes to like birth, like when it comes to like all your information, no,
Well, and-
that's really, I don't know. That's
they
like
have-
invasion of privacy.
A little bit. But this is the biggest invasion of privacy. And this is no disrespect to the people that believe in the religion
Yeah, no, that's
and follow it truthfully. Because I have a lot of friends still in it. So they get your names, they get these names of the people that have already passed. And they do baptisms for them. So apparently there's 3 levels of like heaven, paradise, what was the other one? You might know. One of them is called paradise or some shit. It's like a limbo where people that weren't baptized are there and they're waiting for us to get baptized for them so they can have the choice in the afterlife to go to the kingdom of heaven.
okay.
Which is weird
Yeah,
because it's like when you die, you die.
you die.
You know?
And even in the Bible it says it like
You
once
die.
you die, you die.
You die.
Like there's and to be more specific, it says that the dead doesn't feel anything, right? It doesn't have any kind of conceivable thought or like memory of their past life.
Yeah.
So technically it's basically saying you're just nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So
Quick question: It's reading, right? Because earlier
Yeah.
it was like spiking.
No,
and you
that's what I was just saying.
I have a follow-up question.
Yes, sir.
Do you guys believe in the afterlife, or like there's people that say that they have another
I don't know about an afterlife.
respawn and shit
it's
into a different.
like Call of Duty. He's like, oh.
I don't know about reincarnation.
Oh, good. Ends up in like the rice field.
No, I get. I don't personally believe you've been reincarnated.
No.
I think maybe there's a place where, because I feel like we do have a soul. No matter what anybody says, we do have a soul. I feel like, and I think we'll end up somewhere spiritually on another level of existence. What I think.
Yeah.
That's my personal understanding of what I believe.
Yeah.
So going back to the church, so they do those baptisms, right?
Uh-huh.
And I would go to these temples, and they even have like special underwear for you. Because you're supposed to listen. Yeah, like, it's funny, but not really.
No, but
No, I get you.
I think about it. It's custom made for us too, isn't it?
I just imagine you just go walking in, you're like, mine. Who's like, my name?
The Jewish people have these all have to have.
And this is very.
That's true. Yeah, they had that.
This is very like, I'm not supposed to talk about this at all. No, I'm not, because this is very sacred. This is where you were talking about the sex part, the
Oh, what's
cult.
the will they kill you?
No.
Oh, yeah. So you're good then.
They're gonna have to find me.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to find me in Union City. First off, they're gonna have to get parking in Union City, which is not gonna fucking happen. And then they're gonna have to find where I live.
It's funny how
And it's not in Union City.
He's funny how he
So-
just nods his head and he's like, stop lying, bro.
Bro, if I die, then you know. you know it was the Mormon church.
Oh god.
No, but they do have special like clothes that you're supposed to wear because it's a ritual. And I don't
like sacred.
Yeah, and I never respected that because it's like these people are dead. And it's family members of someone else that I don't feel the need to, I don't want to impose, it feels like I'm disturbing the peace.
Yeah.
That was a big part of why I left too. And also just the dynamic of our church over here. They talk a lot of shit about each other. And it's like, how can you be in a church where they preach the word of God and you're out here like being hypocritical, talking shit about another person, own brother.
Yeah.
I couldn't respect that.
And you know what? And it's good that you mentioned that because remember the point that I mentioned earlier that the principle or like, for example, the belief, right? It could be, have good intentions, but the organization just due to it being full of imperfect human beings, there's going to be flaws, right? There's going to be kind of like faults, right? So it happens in the organization too, where like, for example, I remember this one time where we were actually one of the biggest congregations in the whole circuit, right? But then there was this big fusion, right, that happened where basically half of the congregation had to go somewhere else, right? And when they did that, before that happened, dude, it was like that. There was groups, right? There was groups, and people like didn't invite other people. Yeah. Like, and it was like really like kind of like it was really uncomfortable environment, right? But and then of course, due to our teachings, right, and every Sunday or Thursday, right, they'll be like, hey, like we're a family, right? Like we're supposed to do this, and we have to practice what we preach, right? But after that whole fusion, like everything changed. Like now everything is good, like we're all like, for example, tomorrow I have a party with them, right, at my house, right? So it's just like
shit.
No, not that. The holy water, yeah, sure.
The communion wine, bro. Get some of that communion wine.
This is the only exception. But yeah, so
David's there, she's trying to have fun with her. Hey, where's the communion?
I'm like, yeah.
It's like, where's the communion weed at, bro?
He's like, I don't want the bread. I want the wine. He's like, I want the Jesus blood.
You would be finally Mexican.
The bread infused?
Run that shit. Well, yeah. So, but like, at the end of the day, what I really appreciate is that like they always remind us that at the end of the day, this is something, a communal thing, right? Yeah. Like this is brotherly. It's a brotherhood. We have to keep it that way.
It's crazy. Talking about how we grew up in religion and shit. A big part of that growing up in religion was like a part of my trauma, growing up in depression and shit like that too, because like I told you, I've always wanted to get into this with certain guests where if they're comfortable, I've always wanted to try to get as real as possible because I feel like our city and where we come from, like we're very unheard. I feel like for as densely populated as we are, we're very unheard, and there's a lot of people going through similar shit. When it's like growing up in a crazy church, or I'm not calling yours crazy, I'm saying like for my
your perception,
or like for a lot of kids here, growing up with divorced parents is like a huge thing, and
that's crazy.
Regardless of what people say, they're like, "Oh, that's just divorced parents." Like, no, it's not just.
It's not just that.
It hurts you.
Yep.
It traumatizes you, bro. Yep. Going to schools where you're smoking at 14,
or like there's cases where, for instance, my dad, right? His dad left him. Right?
There we go.
My grandfather left, right? And I asked my dad, I was like, hey, like, how does that make you feel, right? And I was like, for instance, like, do you feel like when you were a kid, did you feel like you were useless? Because I was just asking him that question, and at the end of the day, he just said that he doesn't care at this point because he was at the end of the day, he had a father figure, and that was like his. He calls him like uncle, but in reality, they're not really family, but like they were like family friends, right? Okay. But like, he had a father figure. He had a good life. So at the end of the day, he said that, it was kind of sad that his father left. But at the end of the day, he gained so much. Yeah.
And that's a good perspective on it. Because there's a lot of... I think what I'm trying to get at is with the younger crowd, especially, there's a lot of kids growing up now that are like doing crazy shit at a way younger age than when we did it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see a lot of preteens, tweens, bro, smoking. Like, I smoke...
Yo, what I mentioned earlier. Remember when I said that I went to New York? I went to Manhattan, and 10-year-old. Oh, relax.
But he's right. Like, there are some kids that like snort coke.
You're lying.
No, not him.
You're lying. No, not you. I know. Well, it looks like you could be on it, but like, no, but like at the end of the day, like, you know what's crazy? I was in Manhattan, right?
What they do?
No, I was in Manhattan, right? I was just walking in I forgot the park that I was at. I didn't see a 10-year-old girl with a big blunt and just smoking it. And I'm like, what? I'm like, no way.
I wanted to grab out your hand.
No way.
What a fucking zoo.
I was gonna say, like,
I'm like, no freaking way.
we are going back on the desensitization of the world. Like, bro, we are so fucked up as a human race, bro, that our children are becoming like monsters at such a young age. And I don't know if it's hypocritical of me to speak of that, because I started at 14 smoking. I started at drinking at 16, whatever, you know what I mean? But was it healthy for us to do it? No, it wasn't.
No, but the good thing is that I think the reason why, like, I think you should talk about it because at least you now acknowledge what you did was wrong, right?
Yeah. And I've always wanted to get into that with a guest. And I think you're the perfect guest to get into that with because you are, you have a lot of knowledge on, like, on that desensitization
or like
of the world,
morality and stuff like that.
And morals,
like
and
have like a religious point of view.
Yeah.
Because I believe, for example, like there's the religious point of view, like being moral. Because like at the end of the day, we don't, for example, like I believe like we all have morals, right? But then as a witness, I believe that when it comes to morality, we have a compass that is already set. You know, like it's guided, right?
Yo, can you close the door?
So like it has direction. Like remember what I mentioned earlier? Like it has direction, right? I'm not like, but at the end of the day, I cannot like put myself on a pedestal and be like, oh, I'm better than all you guys because I'm perfect because I have all. Because at the end of the day, I could be doing something that's so bad that you're not doing, you know. So, you know, at the end of the day. When I see you, right, or when I see all you guys, you know, at the end of the day, I see good men, you know. So I don't judge by your beliefs, like religious beliefs. I just judge by your character, you know. Like,
and that's
the things that you do.
That's what I respect about you a lot, because we were never on the same page on a lot of shit in high school. Yeah. I remember we would argue about everything, but it was like a friendly but you know, it would get a little heated sometimes. And to come now, like to come over here now, and you know, we're older. We have a lot more experience to be like, yo, we might think differently, but, you know, we do have different backgrounds. We do come from a different place. And regardless of any trauma that we have, we try to keep it as civil as possible.
Yeah.
And I hope that with this podcast or even with whatever that I'm doing, you know, with the music, shit, whatever, I hope I can spread that across all of Union City, because that's something that we desperately need. Desperately. Because a lot of our kids are growing up with some traumas that they're just holding inside. And they're using the worst coping methods possible. And I'm gonna just to share this real quick. Like, I grew up in a very poor, you know, household, because my parents split up, and then after that, it was just like, you know, going to court to decide who you're going with. Like that alone, right, fucks you up heavily. And I remember being 8 years old and like lashing out on my parents. But I didn't understand why. You know, I was just a kid. And then I wanted to live with my mom. My mom didn't have a lot of money, supported 3 kids, me, my brother, and my little sister. And we lived like that from when I was 8 till when I was like 18 and I finally got a job. And for me, it sounds a little hypocritical to me for me to preach to these people. You know, it is a little bit, but I'm trying to change as much as possible, and it's for the good of our community more than anything.
And it's crazy that when you mention about like childhood trauma, like what kids go through, that is, you know, it's crazy that when it comes to children itself, they're really like overlooked.
Yeah.
Because so my sister, right, she worked at this one program that's called CAP, right, where it's for child assault prevention, right. Dude, she would get a bunch of kids. And their stories were insane. There was this one particular story that I forgot what it was, but she told me that she couldn't handle it because it was so much that kid was going through. And it's crazy. And we're talking, this is only in Jersey City. Just imagine Union City.
How old were the kids?
dude, around like 7, 8, around like 7. Let's just say 6 to 15. Crazy. Like it made my sister cry. It made her leave. That's crazy, right? And that's just Jersey City. She was only doing the district of Jersey City, right? Just imagine Union City. Just imagine the rest of the state.
Bro, New York, Queens, you got the Bronx, like all these places going through the worst.
And I feel kind of selfish because I think they were so caught up with like all the new trends, like, you know, Kim Kardashian, she broke up with Pete Davidson, you know, and all that. But then all these kids, right, that are that's crazy.
That's why I try not to get into all those bad coping methods now. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. I still drink once in a while. I still smoke once in a while. But the way I used to do it before, like he would see me. Hey, Xavier used to see me. Victor used to see me. Like,
yo,
it was.
I'm never gonna bring it up on podcast, but there was a time where like, yo, Lewis,
it's not
down bad.
Yeah,
you know? Like really down bad.
Yeah. And I want to share this just because it's. Hopefully it could reach one kid and be like, yo, I gotta change.
Yeah.
Because the way I used to drink, bro, I was so depressed. I would clench onto that bottle and I would never let go. And it was hard to keep up to. And they would try. I don't know, because I guess they didn't want to make me feel bad or make me feel comfortable.
You talk shit.
It was convenient time. I just started drinking because I just turned 21. Yeah. So I know you were younger.
And you know what it is? It's like, it just numbs the pain.
It does.
Dude, it's just crazy how it just... You know, my dad was an alcoholic, right? And it's just crazy that as a kid, even to this day, right? Like, I just don't understand how I didn't develop this hatred towards him, right? But that's good that I didn't. But I did, you know, it would be understandable because at the end of the day, I would see like he made my mom cry, you know, he made my mom suffer. So, but alcoholism is no joke, bro. No. Like legit, like that ruins relationships, families. Because, and the reason why my dad did it was because of stress, you know, because of life, you know, like taking care of a family, you know, like and work. So. And like, for example, like you're talking about you going through depression and all that. And it's good that now, I feel like when you say that you don't deserve it, I think you deserve to talk about it because at the end of the day, like you changed.
So, a little bit. So, I can recognize that a lot. I just don't want to, you know, because I still want to stay as humble as possible. And, you know, I still have a lot more to do for sure. I've always been on that grind by myself. I've always been trying to stop all these things by myself. But like you said, there's always a give. And you should always try to give as much as possible. And I'm trying to, you know, teach my brother, you know, like, because he wants to smoke, you know, and he's young. And I get it.
He's being reasonable by not doing anything.
Yeah, and he's being reasonable by, like, saying, I'm going to wait till I'm 18. And I'm going to, you know, I'm going to be respectful about it.
Yeah.
It's okay to try something, right? But I told him, listen, I don't mind if you do it. My worry is that you use it to cope with things that are going on. Because he's my sibling, I know just as well that he's not feeling as good as I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And thank you for, you know, telling me that you can see that I've changed. I appreciate that. But there's still a long way to go.
Yeah. And you know, everyone, and the thing is like, we never stop changing, you know? Because we're imperfect. Yeah, exactly. Because we're imperfect, right? It's always work. But the most important thing is that you at least took that step. Yeah. Right, because there's still people out there, right? That's still in step zero.
In their way.
Yeah, they're partying their life away, but then they're not facing their issues.
Yeah,
because that's the whole point of like them coping with, like, for example, drinking a lot or smoking a lot, because that's just more of a coping mechanism, right? Yeah. Just this a distraction, but in reality, they're not facing the issue head on.
Yeah,
right.
And
so they're just leaving it on pause. So
and I always try to tell everybody, like, I don't mind the smoking, I don't mind the drinking, but if you ever need to talk, just hit me up. Like, I won't judge anybody anymore. Like, I used to be very judgmental in high school. I used to be very, like, on my own shit. Like, you remember, I was a piece of shit, kind of, and I won't deny it a single bit. I was a piece of shit, and I would try to be as introverted maybe as possible as I can be. But if you need help, genuinely, if anybody, even in this room, especially in this room, I should say, if you ever need to talk, it's just one phone call, one DM away, one text away.
Yeah, and especially like when it comes to like your ego, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes even your ego, yourself, you could be your. It's like that saying, like, you're your own worst enemy, right? Yeah. So you just need to let go of that ego, right? And be like, you know, I need help.
No, you don't gotta let go. You gotta kill it.
Yeah.
You gotta strangle the
Yes, it's right. Okay, whoa. That's like great analogy.
You know what it is though too, and I always get back to this, but the Hispanic ideals, bro.
Oh, like
the pride,
yeah.
the machismo, the pride, the everything that Hispanics have, especially when you're Mexican, bro. It's on another level. Like
It's like they're with Italian.
yeah, probably. I don't know about anything about it.
So I have a question.
What's up?
But just depending on the situation, does it sometimes, like for example, you pushing your issues away, is that necessary in certain
In
situations?
some occasions,
Like
for
you have to man up.
yes. So you know why? Because there are some people.
Because like sometimes there's not time to like actually face
Yeah.
it. You just need to like put
No,
it
it's
aside.
not even
like,
that.
go for
It's
it.
not even that. Sometimes the issue is just not as big as you think. Where it's like sometimes you just get into your own
Yeah,
head.
sometimes
And-
you blow it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
I have a family member that gets very emotional quickly,
Damn.
and people can say, "Oh, I'm just like that," and this and that, but there's always a limit to everything. Anger, emotion, everything. You should never get too emotional about anything.
To
You should.
the point where you're like yelling,
Yeah,
screaming, like,
because at that point you're not dealing with the issue. You're just making excuses too about it. Oh, I'm emotional. I'm allowed.
Yeah, and then once you're yelling, like that's when you say the most like dumbest crap,
Exactly.
and then you with the whole conversation, you're not going anywhere.
I dealt.
Yeah,
I dealt with a family member that was like drunk and at that level, and I was trying to explain to them, and I just got to a point where I'm like,
What's the point?
"What's the point?"
Yeah.
Sometimes
Like-
you're talking to a brick wall.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, you know what? I'm secure enough to know that I tried my best. And if you're not gonna listen to me, we were both pretty wasted, but I was like wasted in a point where I was like, I was just partying.
Yeah.
No,
I just love how you admit it.
no, I'm not gonna.
I know.
It was a little get together that we. It was a bar.
But you were still like
But I
at least
was-
like conscious enough
Yeah.
to like.
I was there, I was hanging there. It was a party. I don't drink like that anymore to cope with my problems. I drink to when it's
To have fun,
to have fun. And that person drank a little too much, and they were starting to tell me things that it was like blaming other people, and not taking accountability. And it's like I was trying to guide them in the right direction without really hurting their feelings or anything.
Oh, you don't understand.
No, and I would be like, I understand your point, but sometimes the things is like this, and that. I was trying to be cordial.
Like
Yeah.
show them a different avenue.
Yeah.
And then you were being tactful too.
Yeah.
You,
And then it got to a point where it was just like, nah.
No.
You know what I mean? They start crying, they start this, they start that, making excuses, and it's all right. You know what I mean? I moved on. That person moved on, and we still talk now, and we hashed it out. But that's what I'm saying. It's like that's another way to cope too. Being emotional and getting in your own head.
Yeah.
You think just by being that way you can get rid of the issue.
it's like you're building a brick wall.
between yourself.
Yeah, but you have,
And that's just you.
that's crazy.
Yeah, that is.
Wow.
And I don't know, that's why I try to help as many people as I can, and I try to talk about mental health a lot. Because mental health here is overlooked so much just because we're Hispanic. And I think that's the main reason, because a lot of us grew up with that machismo, that Hispanic pride, that Hispanic, that be a man shit.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, you know what? I moved here when I was 14. I grew up here. I had a car, a house, and I wasn't crying about no girl, about no this, about no that. And it's like,
Wait,
bro,
can I just say something?
Yeah.
David, you really embody the whole I'm a man. Like, I remember, dude, like, I'm not kidding you. Because you the one to be like, I will talk and be like, shut the hell up. He would say, I don't care. I don't care.
No, that was back in high school.
I'm a changed man.
if you don't mind, if I can ask this question, do you think a lot of what you embodied in high school was just a facet or like a fake,
Yeah, like a phase.
like a facade of what was really happening with you?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want
No, my favorite one is
Like, you were gonna say something, but then you stopped looking at the That's not me, right? I had to make sure. I didn't know if he died or not. That was a setup question.
Yeah, that really was.
If you don't want to get into it,
Yeah,
you don't have to
No,
at all.
I didn't know I was leading to that. No, but yeah, so I was not extroverted during high school. I barely talked to anybody. Even if I knew you in the hallways, I would just walk by. Cause regardless, I had my headphones blasted anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So unless he would come talk to me and shit, I'll dab you up and shit, and I'll just keep
be on my way.
Do you think you had it just as hard as everybody else did to like?
No. I mean, like,
No, I'm saying
looking
like.
back at it now, like the way I was looking at things, it wasn't that bad. People had it worse.
No, yeah, because you have perspective.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people that were growing up in the high school that had a shitty lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Lifestyle.
I mean, well, I went to the gym and shit, but after that, like, I started smoking more,
Yeah.
and then more, and it
became a habit.
escalated.
Yeah.
Became a habit. It was like an everyday thing. So I was like, smoking for like the last 5 years.
Mm.
And just now, like this year, I think I started like, you know,
Toning it down a little
toning
bit.
it like OD. It's not like a little joints fucks me up. I'm in the clouds and shit.
Yo, what would you tell to all those kids that are growing up now, like, that are living an awful life, but still having to go to school, still having to do the homework, still having to go to the gym, still having to do their sports? What would you tell them?
Keep pushing. Find something something that distracts you, something that makes you happy. I found the gym.
Okay, that's good. That's a healthy way to go.
It was fun. It was fun for me because I kept powerlifting. I like being strong.
Mm.
It was a challenge.
I remember you used to compete with like Kelvin, like,
Yo, but that's like not.
Nah, he won that competition.
he's crazy now, dude. Look at him. Damn, he's insane.
Him and Anselmo. Have you seen Anselmo?
Yeah.
I follow him on Instagram.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
No, because like it was you, Steve Guandique, Kelvin,
Edwin.
Paul, Edwin. Yep. I'm still in that group chat. Did you leave?
I love that.
I'm still in that group chat. That's crazy. The only person, like, to be honest, the only one I'm actually like really close to, I would say close, is Paul. Like, out of all of them, it's just Paul. Yeah.
I saw him like a while ago. He got a little chubby.
Alright, just want to let you
I'm
guys
chubby too.
No, but now he's pretty fit.
Yeah,
He's pretty fit. Yeah. No, but
we all came back to normal.
no, but I'm happy for you, David, and like for everyone in the whole group, and everyone here actually, because at the end of the day, like, I think high school was a phase. If you really think about it, high school was a phase.
This is what
yeah.
Me and Louis were walking in the street the other day. I don't know how we got to this conversation, but like high school shit isn't really even just high school shit. It's just, again, part of life. Like it's another part of it. It's part of that cycle because it's
a
like
core memory too.
Yeah.
Hold on.
And we discovered so many things along the way.
when you get down to like even like the social aspect of it, like people trying to fuck you over, people trying to make themselves look better for other people, for the teacher. It's the same shit that translates into the workplace.
And that's sad because you look at that now as childish, but people still act that way. Yeah, because you're trying to change and be the bigger man, but sometimes it's a little difficult. It's a big test, but you have to do that.
There's a
really
difference
is, but,
between
you know,
like people that want to get to where they want, and they're fucking completely clueless as to how the world works. And there's other people that want things and they know how the world works, how infrastructure is, and the reality of what they can and cannot do.
Like the other day, I went to their house to pick up Victor. We were gonna go to Signature, and I parked in front of this driveway in front of their house. You know the driveway in front of their house. I parked there, and the guy. I hadn't checked my car. It was late. I was like assuming that people were already home, you know. And I come downstairs and there's a guy parked behind me. He's talking to the police. And I'm like, oh, can I help you? Am I in your spot? You know, being cordial again. And he's like, yeah, can I have your ID? Absolutely. Takes a picture of it, whatever. Nothing of it. I moved my car or whatever. And I told him, is there anything wrong? He's like, yeah, just don't park in my space. I'm like, okay. Anything else? He's like, no. All right, that's it. Done deal. Victor comes in, bro. Victor comes in. He's like, yo, this fucking pussy, yo. I'm so tired of this motherfucker. He doesn't even own that, like, all that shit. And I'm like, man, Victor, it's okay, bro. It's okay. Because at the end of the day, bro, we all know he was the childish one. That guy asking for my ID, not talking to me directly, and avoiding the situation.
And that's also where you get into like certain cops doing their job or not. And it's like you'll ask shit like 7 times, give me your ID, give me your ID. Did I do anything wrong?
No, he wasn't even a cop.
No, but that's what I mean. Like it goes into that. Like in every aspect.
He was just like Ken.
or aspect.
What is that?
You know, Karen.
that
Like,
a male?
yeah, you married.
Nah, I think we shouldn't give them a different name. I think they should just be called Karen.
Karen,
I think
Yeah.
we should just forget Karen and Kens and call them what they are. Aspect.
And tell them to go fuck themselves.
I love that.
Unfortunately, of course.
Like how I did. Like,
This is where we need David Boss. Like you'd be like, shut the hell up.
I'm not gonna get into it that much because I don't believe in it. But remember when everyone was saying like, "Oh, Karen is a slur." In some sense, these words are just dumb because it's like just say what you really mean. You gotta make up a nickname word to be PC so you can post it on your story or your shit.
is it PC to say Karen? I think they're pieces of shit.
It's now considered a derogatory term.
What's
So,
PC?
Take the middle-aged
PC,
woman.
like politically correct.
Ah,
Yeah.
Come on, David.
come on.
Like you can't.
Say words.
He looks like he was like, come on, man. There was six the program.
There was a TikTok I saw the other day where some guy was like making a joke about how what you can and cannot say, and he was like, "Yo, these tacos are so good. I feel like gay as fuck." Like, you can't say that. And then they cut it, started it again, and they were like, "Yo, these tacos are good as fuck. I feel like bisexual." What are you trying to say? And they were like, "Yo, what the fuck am I supposed to say when I'm happy now?"
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
but I think we're probably gonna close off soon. So to reiterate all that shit that we were just talking about, man, I think
Mental health.
mental health is important,
Yeah,
bro. And if you really do need to talk to somebody at any point, I think you could text any of them.
And a lot of people like a lot of people say that, and a lot of other people just take it on the chin. They're like, "Yeah, fuck you. You're just saying that." But really, find an outlet.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
A positive,
It's not
healthy
even-
outlet.
Yep.
It's not even if you have to talk to someone.
Yeah.
It's just someone to alleviate whatever tension or anger or whatever emotions you may feel in the moment. Because then, when you feel those emotions, you tend to make rash and stupid decisions. So find an outlet.
And especially like their accomplishment is like they're here, you know, they're here with us. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
You know, they're winning at the end of the day. We're all winning because
And
we're still here.
Not to be disrespectful, but that should be the bare minimum.
Yeah, no, and that's true. Because at the end of the day, being here is just a W, you know. Because at the end of the day, that shows that you still have a will,
Yeah.
you know. And at the end of the day, it's like the saying goes: if there's a will, there's a way. So
Which way?
any way possible,
I don't-
nation.
Anybody know a guy named Will?
No,
Anybody?
And not to get too dark, but there have been people that have had like really bad thoughts. You know, people that want to hurt themselves, and that's when it gets extreme. But again, if you can decide to push on, talk about your shit, look for something healthy to do, and get rid of those feelings, bro, you automatically won the fight.
And to be honest with you, like I don't care. Like let's just say if they don't want help, right, and they're having like intrusive thoughts, and let's just say I keep on bugging them, and they start to hate me. That's good. You know, I want them to hate me because no. You know why? Because they're still here. That's the whole point. I don't care. At the end of the day, I still want them to be here. So if they have to hate me for that, and they still will have to hate me for that, right? That's fine. Because
As long as you're still here.
As long as they're still here. So, you know, at the end of the day, like to just reiterate, it's an accomplishment just to be here. You know, so.
And everyone in this circle, everyone that we hang out with, are all winners because we're still here and we're still pushing on.
Yep.
And you guys too, bro.
Yep.
And don't forget that shit. And I think we're gonna end it like that.
God love you.
And
Thank you guys for another episode. Thanks again for all the support. Next time we'll have the posters up.
look at David. Thank you for David ruining the podcast midway.
Sorry.
Thank
We
you
love
guys
you guys,
for stopping
bro.
by.
To zoom in, like.